3. You're listening to the Heroes Power Hour presented by BlizzPro.com. Your host, Balrog Fan VP, and co-host, Zexorus and DJ Tyrant.
Hello everybody and welcome to episode 45 of the Heroes Power Hour. 45 episodes I just saw on the Facebook the other day. Last week, a year ago, or this week a year ago was episode 3, so we've come a long way. A lot of changes over the years, we've had guests come in and out, and we're 5 episodes away from our big one. But I'm not the only guy here because that would be really awkward talking to myself for an hour straight. I mean, I could do it, but I don't think you guys would like it. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce Mr. DJ Tyrant, a.k.a. Jimmy. How's it going, brother?
It's going well. How are you guys? It's really good to be back again. Another week of Heroes was had, and we have some really fun stuff to speculate on this week, which is kind of cool. It's been a while since we've been able to speculate on some teases.
I think wild speculation is our strongest suit. We don't actually have to talk about anything real, where we can just run wild. That's where we really shine. Much better than most podcasts, I would say.
Oh,
just
yeah.
Making stuff up. We're the kings. Along with TJ, we got Zexorus, a.k.a. Willie. How you doing, man?
I'm doing fine. My feet hurt. My quads are on fire, and I am ready to indulge in some hot speculation.
That's good. Good. Yeah, you want hot quads for hot speculation. So, Oh boy. Anyways, I don't know about you guys. I actually played more Heroes of the Storm this week than I have in recent weeks. Obviously Willie played with me and a good friend Digitality one night. I've been playing a little bit here and there throughout the week, just getting some games in, kind of polishing up my support role. It's been fun. Willie, what about you? How was your week in Heroes and other games and whatnot?
I got a few games in here and there. Really, I've been trying to experiment more with Greymane because he's just really fun to me. Still, he hasn't disappointed me yet.
Yeah,
he's very much the hit and runner. And I talked to some other people around the Heroes community, and they're all pretty much in agreement that Greymane is not a traditional assassin, and that you right click a target and you just stay on that target, but he's more of you want to work your way around the battlefield and go in for a nice kill at the end. So, but yeah, like you said, played with you in Digitality, and those were some fun games the other night. So
yeah, I went 4-1, just rocked some people. It was good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's another thing too. It's the first full week with Greymane on the roster, and as always, Hot Slugs has the newest hero at the lowest win percentage, but I think he's going to rise up pretty quickly. I mean, I'm still getting a feel for how to play him, as are, I'm sure, other players, and it's kind of tough to establish what kind of hero and playstyle he is, because like you said, he's not your traditional point-and-click assassin. So, DJ, how was your week in games? What did you think about Greymane last week?
Greymane, I didn't play too much of him, but I played with a couple friends like TBK, kind of my usual group. It seems like I tend to run with TBK, Mantis, and Cattle Prod, the WoW guy. Yeah, that. Yeah. But Cattle Prod's awesome. He was playing a lot of Greymane, and he's very much all or nothing. It seems like you have to be really aggressive with him. I think we were talking a little bit about this before the show, where he really shines when you're super hyper aggressive with him, and know when to be hyper aggressive with him. And I think that's really cool that we have a little bit of a different assassin than normal. And the one thing we talked about earlier as well was I was interested in how you guys thought about his escape toolkit, because if he gets caught in human form, he's like boned pretty much. Like there's no escape for him.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those things where you're in human form, you got to play that like as safe as possible positionally. Like you want to harass but not overextend.
Yeah, and this just came to me right now. If he had like a vault, he would basically be Vala. So that's probably why a reason why he doesn't have that. As far as other games, I played a lot of Diablo because the new season started on Friday night, and it's been a lot of fun. And we'll see how that goes. See, like what did I say? I said Willie would like chuckle at me and say something.
I only chuckle because I got sucked into Diablo 3 as well.
Okay,
oh,
good.
Wow. Wow, DJ's prediction was that you'd say Diablo is a trash game that no one plays, so.
It is a trash game, but I ended up playing it again. I started a Crusader named her Natty Dormer.
Oh my gosh.
Good times. Jimmy's getting some love in the chat, too. Everybody wants to remind you to stay tight. And Relarian says they really enjoyed watching you cast. So, and also, our good friend Rommel is here. We'll be talking about Chair League in a little bit. I'm sure he'll pipe in with some questions and whatnot in chat. And I do want to give a quick shout-out to Aya, one of our patrons. He's here every single week. But he's starting a new job, so congratulations to Aya. And I hope everything goes well tomorrow.
Yeah, Rylarian actually makes a good point about Diablo. I talked about this with you before the show, too. I'm just regurgitating what I just talked to you about, Charlie. But
yeah, I'm going to fall asleep.
I know. You're just going to fall asleep, and the show's going to go off the rails. Anyways, Diablo 3 is my game to go to when I just want to turn my brain off and just play a video game. Like, because I've been playing competitive games for, I feel like, years now, mostly, with Heroes, obviously, and StarCraft back in the day. And so it's nice to play a game where I don't have to really think too hard.
Yeah. And that's the mindset like that separates pros, I think, in a big way, because I don't understand how these guys can play like at that level consistently for so long as like training and getting ready for things. It just seems baffling to me to like put that much focus into one game, like to the point where you're so good that you're competing on the grand stage. Like I don't know how you don't get like bored just stomping people all the time or scrimming with the same couple of people who are actually within your class, and like those kind of things would be daunting to me. I mean, even just playing competitive games in general, it can you got to have the right mindset. At least I do.
And like I go
get
on
the
like
mindless fun.
I go on like a 3-game losing streak, and I'm like, F this game, I don't want to play anymore.
Yeah. No, I lose 1 or 2. Like, this has been happening in Hearthstone lately. I'll play, like, 3 games. I'll win 2. I'll be like, yeah, Hearthstone's fun. I'll lose 1. I'll be like, I ain't playing that for a week. Screw this. So,
yeah. I mean, this kind of comes back to my StarCraft days where there was this thing always talked about. It's called ladder anxiety, where you, like, lose a game and you just sit there. You're like, do I really want to queue up and play again?
Yeah. I just got hurt so badly. Do I want to get hurt again? Tired of being hurt.
Never mind. I was going to make a bad joke there. I will not.
No, make the bad joke.
No. Keep it. We're going to move on. All right.
Sorry.
Don't listen to the devil on your shoulder. That is Willie. So Blizzard announced the Spring Global, which as far as I could tell, is just a bunch of dates for a lot of the pro tournaments and whatnot, officially sponsored ones, anyways. And they announced a $4 million prize pool. Now, I don't keep apprised of a lot of the pro happenings. I just kind of watch the big highlights that get linked to me. So I know Willie and DJ are both a little more plugged in here on this aspect. Willie, what do you think about some of the stuff with the Spring Global?
I think it's actually a really good way to slightly mirror what Riot has been doing here. With their LCS, I do enjoy the fact that they've separated it into regions that's going to flow into this eventual spring championship, rather than it just being a set number of teams. They're qualifiers instead. I always enjoyed a qualifier format rather than how like Dota does it. It's like they're next. The Shanghai Major for Dota 2 is coming up, and there are so many invited teams, and then there's, I think, 2 open qualifiers. there's a few open qualifiers to add an additional 4 teams.
Okay.
And that is, if you've ever watched the open qualifier, it's a mess. Like, it is the most chaotic thing on the face of the planet. Jimmy, did you watch the last open qualifier?
I didn't watch the last one, but I've watched them before. You get such like janky team comps. You're like, what is this garbage?
Yeah, you like, it starts off as like best of ones.
Yeah,
first,
best of ones are you see weird stuff.
And
I mean,
you will run into every single gimmick you could ever think of.
Yeah, I mean, if
know?
there's a best of one format, we might be seeing stuff like Cho'Gall played. Like, to be honest, because people will just pull out weird stuff that like people will not be expecting.
Yeah,
just to try and get an upset on teams or work their way in. Okay,
because best of one format really kind of
it's terrifying.
It's kind of a toss up. Like, if Cloud9 just drafts bad one game, they have nothing to fall back on.
I see.
Not that I expect them to lose in a best of one format. Really, I mean, I expect them to be.
They're the champions until proven otherwise.
Right. But one of the things I noticed was for the China qualifier, it's the Gold League, which is ongoing. And if you don't get a chance to watch that, or if you have a chance to watch that, watch that. There are some strong teams coming out of China.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've watched a couple.
If I remember correctly, the last Gold League that Cloud9 went to, I think they got bopped.
They're in this one. They're there right now. They got third in their group, so they advanced to the playoff stage.
Well, that's not first.
That's not first.
So
and people were when this was announced, people were bringing up the question because I guess they weren't up to date on the qualifiers. They're like, well, what if Cloud9 qualifies in the China Gold League and in North America?
They can't. You can only qualify once.
Yeah, exactly. The one thing I really want to point out, which I'm very, very, very happy about, and was one of my big complaints about last year, was they're finally giving 2 teams to Korea for the Spring Championship. At BlizzCon last year, only 1 Korean team got through.
I believe that was DK, wasn't it?
It was DK, yeah. And DK kind of, I don't know, they looked pretty bad, to be honest. And I still think going into 2016, until proven otherwise, North America is the strongest region right now. I mean, obviously, there's going to be a little bit of fight between the top 3 right now. It's Tempo Storm, Cloud9, and Bob Ross Fan Club. And it'll be really interesting just to see how this all works out. I mean, this should really, like you were talking about, Charlie, the amount of money they're putting into this should really bring a lot of new talent, if not new teams, into the scene. Yeah. Because, I mean, just the Korea League alone, for the qualifiers for the Spring Championship, has $200,000 in prizes, and the Global Championship event, which is in April out in South Korea, is $500,000, and there's 12 teams that qualify for that. 2 from China, 2 from North America, 2 from Europe, 2 from Korea, 1 from Taiwan, 1 from Australia and New Zealand, 1 from Southeast Asia, and 1 from Latin America. Why they did it that way and didn't just give all the regions 2 to give it a good round number of 16 baffles me a little bit, because 12 is a little bit harder to run a bracket with. I guess I'm assuming they might just do groups at that point, so 3 groups of 4 or something like that. I don't know, but 16 just feels better. I feel like it's a much more easily manageable tournament bracket thing. But I mean, obviously budgets are involved and stuff like that, and you're already flying out 12 teams, and 4 more teams isn't that much more money, I guess. I don't know, but it is what it is. It's much better than last year, though.
Yeah, and there's probably some form of method to their madness. Maybe they're building to 16. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, this is just the spring championship event. We still have summer, and then leading into BlizzCon.
I have a question, too. You mentioned a team, Tempo Storm. Like, I know they went through a lot going into BlizzCon, and they've kind of been changed around a bit. How do you think they'll be able to make it back to the grand stage again? I mean, have they lost too much? Or, I mean, with the appearance of Bob Ross Fan Club, do you think Cloud9 and Bob Ross are the teams to beat at this point, or do you think Tempo Storm's still in the mix?
I think Tempo Storm is third in that mix, but not too distant of a third. I don't actually know for sure, but I feel like Tempo Storm is still looking to solidify their roster. I don't think it's set totally yet. Getting Arthalon, Arthalon's on Cloud9. Sorry, it's so hard to keep track of these changes because so many things change. Even though I was at the Heroes Rising event, I couldn't keep track of all of it. But yeah, I got to watch Tempo Storm scrim a bunch at the Heroes Rising event, and seeing Sray be their shot caller was really cool. And I think he's a really talented player, and he could really lead them to back to prominence from where they were middle of last year to like late fall.
Very cool. Willie, you got anything you want to add before we move on?
I'm still not sold on Bob Ross fan club.
Still not sold on Bob Ross fan club.
I'm still not sold on them. I'm waiting for something to go wrong with them.
They have a recognizable name, and they made some noise, so they're going to be the talk of the town for a little bit. But Jet's pointing out that China...
But there's a lot of volatile players on that team.
Is there?
Zuna.
Okay.
They might have some...
Do I have to go any farther than Zuna? The dude is an amazing player.
Oh, yeah.
But he tilts really hard.
I think we saw that worst at the North American Championships last year in Vegas, where they were up 2 games in a best of 5 on Cloud9, and Cloud9 just was able to dismantle them, and I think a large part of that was Zuna tilting.
Yeah, and he had no reason to tilt. You're up 2-0. Just play calm, play safe, But he tilts.
Interesting.
And just super hard. So, if Zuna has somehow reeled that in, Bob Ross fan club is going to be absolutely terrifying, because Zuna is out of his mind when he's on focus. Like, there's probably no better player in the world than Zuna at Heroes of the Storm. Mm-hmm. But if you get in his head, it all falls apart.
Maybe that's why they named themselves Bob Ross fan club. He's focusing on happy trees and happy thoughts, happy little ganks. And
I'm so sad that if they get sponsored, they're not going to be able to keep that name.
It is a great name.
That's rough. Well, hopefully they don't get sponsored. Anyways.
Also, I want to say Kenma showed some really crazy skill at Heroes Rising. Like, he showed his versatility of how deep he can play different supports. Like, he played I think it was the matches with Tempo Storm. They started targeting bans against his supports, which opened up heroes for the rest of the team, which is really an interesting way to draft.
That doesn't surprise me. Like, Kenma's one of the few guys I'm familiar with, and I've actually talked to him via Twitter and his YouTube page, and he creates some great guides, and I learned a lot about supporting from him, like his videos and whatnot. I mean, he really knows his stuff. Like, I haven't seen him play on the pro level. At the time when I was watching and conversing with him, he was kind of the coach, sort of. But yeah, he's a very, very knowledgeable player, so it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, I mean, we could talk about every single one of the players pretty much on that team. It's such like a stacked team, and I feel like picking up Fan was also one of the best things for that team. I mean, his Abathur play, if you saw his games during Heroes Rising, it is like inspiring how good he is at Abathur. Like, he just knows when he can play aggressive in a lane and when he needs to back off.
Very interesting. Yeah, the pro scene is something I'd like to tune into a little more. I never feel like it was readily available to me before because of my work schedule. So now that I'm on a more normal schedule, I think I will get to watch more of these big events as they happen. So it might be a little more interesting to me, because watching the VOD replays, I mean, you just kind of fast forward to the highlights because it's already spoiled. I don't go out of my way to avoid spoilers or anything. So, but anyways, we got a few hero teases this week. Earlier on in the day, the Twitter Blizz Heroes, the official Blizzard Heroes of the Storm Twitter page, sent out a tweet that said, "You want to know what's exactly?" It said,
"Who's next?"
Who's next? Okay, there we go. Thank you, Jimmy. And just 2 sound clips played.
Yeah, I'll play them real quick. Oh,
you got them right now? Okay, we're going to cue those up, and here we go.
All right, so I think we're in agreement that the first one is the wizard from Diablo 3, the female wizard.
Yeah, that seems to be the consensus among most people. I mean, I don't play Diablo 3 very much, so I didn't know, but pretty much everyone across the board is saying that's definitely going to be the wizard, so that's pretty cool. We're all excited for that.
Yeah, and the second one, they really did a good job of just really teasing it. Like, you cannot definitively tell, I feel like, from that. Initially, what did I initially think? I don't know, but I eventually started going through my thought process and going through like Hearthstone death sound clips, and I think it's Varian Rin, but people are trying to tell me that I'm wrong, but that's what I'm hedging my bet on for that second one.
Do you have that sound clip as well, or?
I can pull it up. Hold on one second.
Okay, no problem.
So talk about your predictions on this.
Honestly, my whole thing was just like, that could be anybody. That's a guttural laugh, really, like a guttural noise, and it could be anybody. I mean, it could be pick your random boss from Warcraft, World of Warcraft, sub boss, whatever, dungeon boss. It could be a random Diablo boss character. So
it could be Cyborg Superman.
Can it? That would be
can't.
Cool.
Blizzard did the Death and Return of Superman.
Wow.
For Genesis, so could be that because Infinite Crisis failed.
Wow.
Womp womp.
Jeez. Well, there's been quite a few. I'll just kind of run through some of the names. Jimmy, let me know when you got that sound ready.
Okay.
Watch as I horribly butcher these names, and we can discuss why they might be, who they might be, or what they might be bring to the game and whatnot. Vol'jin, who's actually someone I know, a troll, of the Darkspear tribe, right? The leader.
Yeah, he is currently actually the leader of the Horde if you keep on top of Warcraft lore, but yeah.
So Vol'jin seems to be a fan favorite. People are hoping for Vol'jin. I feel like a Vol'jin spoiler might have had a little more of a witch doctor-y feel, though, right? Like
potentially, yeah. I don't know. It's such a short clip. I don't know.
Yeah, it really is. Kel'Thuzad is another famous favorite pick that seems to be people are hoping for.
I really don't think it doesn't sound enough. It doesn't sound ghostly enough to me.
Yeah,
to be him.
I can see that. Gul'dan, who is a warrior orc, maybe.
Warlock. Warlock.
Yeah, that's the Warlock, bro.
Okay.
Learn to WoW.
No. Listen.
No, Charlie's taking the Twiz role here, where he doesn't care about lore or doesn't know it. So
look, I play Heroes of the Storm, and every hero I like I went back and learned their lore. Like, going in, I knew nothing about Tychus, and I was like, oh, this guy's pretty cool, and I enjoy playing him. Then I went and played Wings of Liberty. So, like, give me a hero I like to play, and I'll learn about him. But, like, I'm not a big lore guy, and that's across the board in everything I pursue. I just kind of take what's in front of me, and if I like it, I like it, you know? I'm not going to go out of my way to read a book in the middle of the inn and figure out the backstory on some idiot human who helped defeat Hogger. I don't care.
I am the exact opposite. I enjoy reading all kinds of lore.
Yeah. And more fans of the Blizzard genre are in that camp. Most people know who these people are. That's why they're being talked about and their names are being thrown around. And I'm just kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum there. So get off my case, Willie.
No.
I just want to interject really quick. I hope Blizzard does this more often for hero reveals, because it has been so fun on Twitter to just talk about it and debate it and be like, this is why I think it's this hero or whatnot. It's been really fun.
Yeah, Reddit has been kind of running wild with it too as well. So, but yeah, Gul'dan is the warlock. What are the odds of him being the guy?
No, not happening. I don't think.
Not him. All right. Grom Hellscream. I know him. No.
Maybe there is some talk that it does sound a little orcish. The death yell. There's a little bit of orc in there, maybe.
This was a random off-the-wall one that someone posted, and I'm kind of hoping, just because I like the random guys. Kyle Blackthorn, who I assume is the lead for Blackthorn, another.
Yeah, that is actually a game I've never played, and
Oh
but
my
it
God.
is.
You know what?
Okay,
Yes.
hey, it is free, I believe, on your Battle.net account. So
Yeah,
if you
I
just
have it
go,
downloaded. I
you
just
can
haven't
download it and play it for free.
Yeah.
Blizzard is freaking awesome for that. Thank you, Blizzard.
Yeah, go check out the free game section. What were you going to say, Willie?
I completely forgotten about Blackthorn. I was looking at that name on our show notes, and I'm like, who the hell is Kyle Blackthorn? And then you just brought it up. I'm like, oh my God, that old Super Nintendo game.
I don't know how they got that that laugh translated into it's probably Kyle Blackthorn, but I'll take it.
Yeah.
Mephisto from Diablo 3 or 2? Mephisto from 2. Yeah, okay, yeah, I remember the runs, kind of having to do those over and over again. I don't know. I can't remember his voice.
I don't remember it. I don't remember
No,
it
it's
either.
not even remotely close to his voice.
Okay. This is actually a Willie submitted one who I'm actually wholeheartedly rooting for. A Necromancer class from Diablo 2. And Willie, why don't you talk about that a bit?
Oh my God! Of all any Diablo hero that I wish could be in Heroes, I wish it would be the Necromancer. Like the Necromancer would bring so much weird versatility. There are bodies everywhere in Heroes of the Storm. Why not bring the Necromancer in and have temporary summons from the corpses? He would have a skill that you summon skeletons, and it would bring up a skeleton for every fresh body on a timer, like a 15-second timer or something. Really low health, but it gives you additional temporary pushing power. Or you could do a corpse explosion route.
Yeah, that's kind of what I like. Bone spear and corpse explosion.
Yeah, or Poison Nova, or there was a lot of ways you could take the Diablo 2 Necromancer, but we're not going to get it because Blizzard hates us and everything we stand for.
We could hope. Although I think corpse explosion might be a bit far fetched, just because that would require a rework of the ragdoll physics and for corpses to actually sit there on the map properly.
Charlie, hope it gets disappointment. Stop it.
Well, I really want a Necromancer. Okay, here's one I'm going to butcher. Samuro?
Oh, you actually got that one right.
Nailed it.
That was another one. That was another one that it's not going to be him, but I really want it to be him. He's the Orc Blade Master.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
So from World of Warcraft. Basically, Jimmy, he's Juggernaut.
Oh, yeah.
For a Dota 2 equivalent.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I would love to see him because he would bring a wonderful self. If they did anything like, which they won't, if they did anything like D2 Juggernaut, he would be an insane self-sustaining assassin.
Yeah.
So, but the hopes and dreams.
Jimmy, do you have that Varian Ren clip?
Yeah, I do. So I'm going to play the teaser audio again, and then the death death audio from the Varian Ren card in Hearthstone. Tell me what you think. So we'll be back in 10 seconds.
You want me to show off?
So I don't know. It's close, but maybe not close enough. I don't know. That was when I played them back to back the first time. I was like, okay, that's got to be it. But I'm not 100% convinced anymore. But it might be this next one. Did you want to talk about the next one a little bit, Charlie?
Div. I don't know. Who is that?
Medivh is a very important Warcraft lore character. He's basically the mage that goes and tells Thrall the prophecy of his life, and he has to move the orcs from where they're living, and blah 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 blah. You can go read up on that, but he's a very important character in the Warcraft universe.
So, and is that one an actual possibility, or?
It's definitely a possibility, and I know Willie, when I first told him that it was a possibility, you freaked out a little bit because you thought this could be almost a Rubik-like character from Dota where you steal other people's spells.
I might have had a moment. Yeah, you're right. Because like if it comes, I don't know how they're going to do Medivh, but like because all I have to base like some of these people on is like Dota 2, but Dota 2 Rubik at times, depending on the enemy comp, is one of the worst heroes to play against and one of the most game-changing heroes because he can steal any spell from your enemy, including ultimates.
Yeah.
So like he like okay, if you want to see an example of how good a Rubik play can like turn a game, look up TI2 the play.
Yeah.
It is one of the most game-changing plays in Dota history. It was one of the most hype moments I've ever watched. So,
but just imagine for a minute, you steal Divine Intervention from an Uther, and you have that to cast now on your team.
Can Uther still cast it?
Yeah, he can cast it himself, but now you know the spell for like a set amount of time. It's like 2 minutes with Rubik. So
that'd be cool. And the last one, I have no idea. Garona?
Yeah, Garona is an orc rogue assassin, I believe, and I don't know much about her backstory. I know she's important. But the reason she's on this list is because on the teaser like key art from BlizzCon, her daggers are like sitting in the ground on it. So that's kind of like Blizzard, like I guess, really hinting heavily at her coming out. It'll be interesting to see if she does. Just because I feel like we've been not melee heavy as far as assassins lately. I mean, Greymane, you could say he's both, but I feel like he's really both.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, he's both. He's not specialized for melee, so... Yeah, we haven't really had a new melee assassin since, what, Thrall? Is that right? I think
that sounds right to me. I was looking for this earlier, but I couldn't find it. I wish someone had a list of like all the hero releases since the game came out in alpha. I just wish we had like a chronological order and a date when that hero came out. It would be nice. So if some aspiring community member out there listening to this would like to do that, I would really, really appreciate it. And if you do, we'll promote it on this show.
Yeah. Act on Jimmy's whims and you will get a shout out, I swear. Okay, well, we could probably take off our speculation hats and jump back into the world of facts and things that are actually happening for sure. And one of those things is the Chair League. It's just kind of exploded in the last week. Like all of a sudden, like I had never heard of Chair League, and then every other post I look at everything, every video linked to me, and I'm guessing some of that has to do with the light that Solid Jake shined on the Chair League. And for people who don't know, the Chair League is basically somewhere where you can go as a community and play. What's the word I'm looking for? It's recreational. In a recreational league, and you can sign up. There's a community, there's teams that are looking for players. You can start your own team, get all your friends there, and every Tuesday or every Monday and Thursday they have games, and it's kind of like if you want to play in like a pro-ish setting but with amateur players. And it's a very cool little league that's just kind of like I said, it's exploded in popularity over the last few weeks. Solid Jake casted it the other night, and I mean, I guess he put it best in this video that he linked, where a lot of the times when you don't have friends that you're playing with consistently, Heroes of the Storm can feel like a solo experience. And with the chat, most of the chat forums being kind of dead, well, the chat channels being kind of dead, there's no real communication, and the Chair League tries to bring that to all us players who are looking to play in a more league-type setting, but with a recreational feel. So I know you had an analogy for this, Jimmy.
Yeah, I mean, I come from someone who's still a fan of just traditional sports like basketball, football, stuff like that. This almost feels like where if you're a fan of basketball, you watch a lot of basketball, you're like, oh, I want to play some, but I'm not like, I'm past my prime. I'm too old. I can't go back to high school and play through that path to get to professional level. I can go to my local gym and play a pickup league or something like that. This totally feels like that to me, and that's really cool. I mean, it's a step below a lot of the amateur leagues like Heroes Hype, which a lot of times just has really, really good teams on there, and sometimes you can't learn a whole lot from playing a team that high a level. You're just like, well, the game just ended. What happened there? This seems to have a lot more like-minded people, and that can help foster a bit better competitive scene. And it lets people dip their toe into the competitive scene without being too committed to it or having to commit too much time to it or whatnot. And It seems like really cool because I think until Blizzard puts in a better draft mode into the game itself, this is going to be the best way to play at a competitive level, I feel like.
Yeah, and the other thing too that's pretty cool about it is there's a lot of time spots. It's very flexible as to when you would play your matches, and you sign up based on those time spots. So.
Oh, and that's the other thing is it's designed around people who have a day job, so they realize you have this time after your job that you have time to play or can have time to play, and it seems really flexible, which is good, and I think will be really healthy to really foster this community. And this is something really cool, and having Solid Jake backing it up, like he's such a incredible caster and community personality in the hero scene that just him backing it or running it or whatever, however he's involved with this, I don't know exactly but him being involved in it just ups the
credibility.
Yeah, credibility, whatever you want to call it on it.
Street cred.
Zex,
you got anything you want? We didn't get a chance to discuss this before the show. I don't know your thoughts on the chair league, sir. What do you think?
I think it's a great idea. I think it brings a nice traditional format to the amateur scene. I know that the Solid Jake and Kubi. I just wanted to say Kubi. It's a fun name.
Kubi.
You put the Q in Kubi.
I think them throwing their weight behind it is a really great thing, because all we've had for a while now is Heroes Hype. And really, that's getting to the point where you're going to see the same teams every week.
Well, I wouldn't say the same teams every week, but I do feel like it's more of a stepping stone for an amateur to pro, and that can be daunting for casual players.
Yeah, and this is more just straight up casual. You know,
Yeah.
I haven't gotten a chance to watch a lot of it. I did get to watch the replay of Ascension Gaming versus something gentleman, fine young gentleman, and Ascension Gaming's York could have used a little bit of work.
Okay.
So they could have played that game a little bit better.
Oh, you're trolling somebody in chat.
I am absolutely trolling Rommel right now.
All right. Well, that aside, really though, with Chair League, I do feel like it's something that is going to continue to catch on, just because it's like you said, Jimmy. It fills that like recreational sort of after work feel for something you enjoy doing, and for some people that's Heroes of the Storm, and they haven't really had the avenue for it. So that's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Zex, should we throw your stuff out there or save it for next week?
No, let's go ahead and throw this out here. Okay. So last week we kind of teased at a thing we were planning on doing, and this week I kind of got confirmation that I'm not an idiot. Well, at least I don't think I'm an idiot.
This idea isn't idiotic.
This idea, it wasn't entirely stupid.
Right.
So Blizz Pro is going to be starting a Heroes of the Storm Cup. in the coming months. This one's going to take a lot of planning, so it's not going to be coming. I would like to get it started around summer, but here's the twist. You're going to sign up individually. You're not going to sign up as a team. Mm-hmm. And what happens every week is that teams are going to be randomized into groups of 5. And you're going to play against other teams. If you show up, you yourself will get 1 point towards the standings against everyone else. If your team happens to win your game or games that week, you get 2 points. You get 2 points, and that's to prevent like weird situations where someone will end up in the top of whatever placing, top 4, top 8, just by showing up every week, over someone who showed up every week and just never won.
Rewarding the winners.
Exactly, rewarding the winners. And at the end of the first half, the top, we'll say top 8 point earners will now be captains. And after that, they will kickball draft a team from the remaining pool. So with the format and how it's going to go, you should be somewhat familiar with everyone's skills and where they're strong at and where they're weak at, and you should have an idea of who you want to play against or who you want to play with. So we wanted to kind of turn the whole casual tournament setting on its head, and just do something where people can just show up.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about forming a team or anything like that. That is absolutely not your problem. So that is the basic format of the tentatively named Blizz Pro Cup. The Blizz Pro Cup.
You got that, buddy?
Yes, the dentures. They're not. I'm gonna be an old man.
Are you staying tight there, buddy?
My dentures
stay tight.
My dentures are staying loose. But hopefully, give us some feedback. Hit us up on Twitter at any of our names, BP or Ballrock Fan BP, at Zexers, at DJ Tyrant, at Blizz Pro. Let us know if you like the idea or if you think we're idiots and we should just stop.
No, I think. Oh, go ahead.
I just think it's really good because it just kind of throws the whole regular format out and is something just off the wall and different. And I think that's good for the tournament scene, just to have something different out there instead of just we're going to have Cloud9 and Tempest Storm play a best of 5 for the 15th time this year.
Yeah. And I think it's one of those things, too, where it's good for people who don't always have 4 other people that they get to practice and play with and work on things with, but they consider themselves good players and want to enter that sort of setting with drafting and with, map picks and things like that. And these are all ideas we'll fine-tune, but if this is something you're interested in, tweet Zexerus, and he's going to start keeping a list of all the people who are interested in this. That way when... and provide them with your email or your Twitter or something, and your Twitter will be there. But whatever way you can get in contact with some of us, just go ahead and let us know that you have an interest in this, and that way we'll be ready to rock as soon as we get all the details hammered out and we get this thing going. But I think it's a good idea. I think it's a really good idea, actually, and it's funny that you actually we're talking about this before the cheer league really was just because this guy wrote all this in a month and suddenly it was up and everybody's playing it, and I just heard about it over the weekend, even though I'm sure it's been out much longer than that. But it's kind of funny, so I'm guessing we'll have to work around Heroes Hype and cheer league, make sure it's on a different day so it's our own thing. But yeah. Let us know what you think, please.
Yeah, the hero scene is getting a little crowded, which is a good thing.
yeah, there's nothing wrong with that if people want to play. And like I said, this is great for people who consider themselves good players but do not have time for team training and just want to get in that kind of fun, quick setting of a casual recreational tournament. And yeah, okay. So another week, another what's hot on Reddit topic. This one's going to be kind of quick. We're running a little short on time, but there's not much to say here. One of the more popular topics this week was basically it was a guy short post by a man named Delete It. So
wait,
but it's
I didn't get a look at this. Oh,
yeah. Yeah. It just says that's BS is his post. And the topic is Blizzard, stop making us lose full rank points when we have games with bots. And I kind of agree with this. I think it's something cool, or not cool, but I think it's a good idea. I think it's something that should probably be a part of the game. It's not fair to take a big MMR or rank point loss because you had one or two bots on your team and you really never stood a chance from the beginning because somebody disconnected. And I think that should just be taken into account after points are assigned at the end. The winning team should get less and the losing team should lose less. It's not a fair experience. And that's really all I can say about it. I mean, Willie, you're kind of nodding your head. What do you got?
Well, what does Dota do for this? Doesn't you just are able to quit, right?
Yeah. If someone, there are two stages of disconnection in Dota. There is the 5-minute wait. If someone like lags out, they drop from the game, and then their tune walks back to base, and takes the most direct route back to base and will not move. If they do not reconnect in 5 minutes or further disconnect, like they close out the Dota client or click leave game. Then it gives you that second level of disconnect, and then the game is then safe for everyone to leave. Like, you can try to play it out, but it's just quicker to just leave.
Okay.
Like, if the game finishes via non-disconnection, points will still be awarded at the end of it, but if the remaining team members leave, then the game just ends, and nothing really happens. There are caveats to that. I think if first blood happens, then the game is not safe to leave. Even if they fully disconnect, you have to finish that game.
Okay.
So I'm kind of in agreement. I am in agreement with this. If someone bots out right away, no, you shouldn't be penalized.
Yeah.
Like, if first blood happens, there should be a time limit.
And the thing with Heroes is these games are quick. I mean, you can end a game in 10 minutes. So
yeah.
I would be okay if all they did was adjust the ranking and MMR hits and gains, especially in Hero League.
Or in Jimmy's case, 60 minutes. I still don't know how you had a 60-minute.
It was not 60 minutes.
It told me 60 minutes.
It was okay. Well, Blizzard was lying to you. It was like 25.
Oh, okay. It was probably lagged out from his other game. I don't know. I've seen.
Or that might have been them. Okay, that might have been the Towers of Doom game that came down to we each had 4 health left on our cores, so that was a very long game.
Okay. Was that 60 minutes though?
It was not 60 minutes.
Okay.
I don't think a game is even able to go 60 minutes.
I've had Blackheart's Bay game run almost 45.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I've had a Dragonshire game go that long, actually.
Yeah. Jimmy, do you have anything you want to add to the Reddit? What's hot on Reddit this week?
No, I think it's a very simple, like, Blizzard do something about this, and they hopefully will. They're good about being aware of the community's concerns, and
yeah.
I did like Derelict's comment, though. It's the top comment on there. He says, I agree, unless it's an ETC bot, apparently. That was really good. For those not familiar, there was actually a professional Heroes of the Storm game last year. I think it might have been Cloud9, where the player who was playing ETC disconnected, and they had to keep playing because of how the rules were set up. He was disconnected for too long or something like that. The ETC lands this mosh pit that gets like 3 of the enemy team players in it, and it ends up winning the game for them, which is just absurd.
Yeah.
So yeah, if it should be Googleable. Just search ETC bot pro game or something like that, and it should pop right up.
I remember that coming up, and that was pretty funny. So the ETC bot MVP.
Yeah, yeah.
So coming up, we're going to have our gameplay portion. look, if you guys want to play with us in Heroes of the Storm after the show, just go ahead and say so in chat. We'll find some spots for you. I know Mr. Purple is going home at the moment to try and hop on in time. If anybody else wants to jump on, we'll pull you in on the call. You can chat. You can talk on our stream. You can promote yourself. I don't care. Say, like, hey, check me out here on this day. If that's what you want to do, I don't care. You should tell everyone your Twitter. We're just here to have fun and play some games, really. So go ahead and let us know if you want to play. If we get 10 people, we'll do a 5v5. If we get more than that, which it's only happened once. I feel like we had 11 one time.
Yeah.
But we're really hoping for people to jump in and play with us. And if you're a patron, you have first priority. You have first dibs. If you donate to our wonderful show, we really appreciate it, and we reward you in various ways. And I'm thinking this is just a rough idea off the top of my head, but patron rewards might have to funnel towards the Blizz Pro Cup in the future. As an incentive kind of thing, if we get this going and it's successful. We can kind of talk about that later, just an idea. But Jimmy, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody about the Patreon account, where they can find it.
Patreon.com/heroespower. That is our Patreon page there. We do have one kind of tier right now. We're still, I don't know, we've been at this like a year, and we're still trying to figure out what other tiers we can kind of incentivize. But
that's why I thought the Blizz Pro Cup might be the thing.
No, that might be the next one. Anyways, the just $1 a month will get you access to